Welcome back to another episode of Rock Boys Football. Sam Pittman, the Arkansas Razorbacks go on the road to Stillwater, Oklahoma, play a team that just played for a Big 12 championship in 2023 that returned pretty much that whole roster, is a top 15 team in the country, outplayed Oklahoma State most of Saturday afternoon, and figured out how to lose the football game. And I think it kind of starts a lot of the questions that we had going into 2024. What does the future look like for Sam Pittman as the head coach of this Arkansas program? And I'm going to get up here and say I think there's a lot of good and a lot of bad to talk about. I'm not necessarily sure I know the answer. This is more of a question for the Arkansas fans. I've been on Twitter and on the message boards and trying to kind of get a stronger understanding of where Arkansas fans are sitting with this topic. A lot, they're all over the place. I mean, there are a lot of different takes. So I think I want to start this one out with, I would love to hear from you guys in the comment section. The Arkansas fans that are listening, what do you think the future looks like for Sam Pittman and this Arkansas program? Let it fly in the comment section. And if y'all do enjoy the content, consider subscribing to the channel. The Arkansas fans, y'all have shown a ton of love to the boys. I think maybe a little bit has to do with me picking Arkansas to go on the road and outright beat Oklahoma State. Appreciate you guys rocking with it. And without further ado, let's get into this one. Let's start with the bad, because you lost this football game when you should have won the football game. You guys see the numbers on your screen. You're 11-19 on third down. You outgained Oklahoma State 650 yards to 385. You look at those numbers and say there's no way Arkansas should be losing this football game. I watched it live. I watched it back 2 other times before we got up here and talked about it. I really do think Arkansas was the better football team in this game. Now, you give a lot of credit to Oklahoma State. They're really damn good at this. They are dang good at, not necessarily playing their best football, but figuring out how to win, especially at home under Mike Gundy. That's not an excuse for this Arkansas program. You turn the football over 3 different times. You have some really costly penalties. You missed field goals. At the end of the day, you didn't make the plays that you need to make to win a football game. And I think the most frustrating conversation, and where I really understand where some Arkansas fans are coming from in terms of I'm kind of over Sam Pittman, is we've seen this movie 1,000 different times during Sam Pittman's tenure over the last couple of years. Like playing good football, but not playing good football when it matters most, in losing football games. And so I kind of understand the Arkansas fans, especially within the last 48 hours, that kind of, when the emotions are running hot. Look, I'm a Michigan fan. Every single game after we would lose to Ohio State under Jim Harbaugh, I would say I'm over it. Well, let's get a new head coach who can maybe make this thing happen. And then after the 48 hours, you kind of start looking, and maybe sometimes your opinions change. But hey, I get it. Like the Arkansas fans who are saying, hey, it's time to move on from Sam Pittman. Like I get it, because enough's enough, right? 1-9, I believe, in one score games. Not going to cut it in the SEC. Now, with all that bad being said, I think there's also a lot of good that you can take from this game in terms of how Arkansas played, but most importantly, how much improved this Arkansas team is from 2023. It is night and day, specifically on the offensive side of the football. This Arkansas offense, I don't know if I go ahead and say it's elite, but it has the ability to be one of the better offenses in the SEC. Again, that's a quality Oklahoma State defense that Arkansas, for the majority of that football game, was able to do whatever they wanted. And it starts with quarterback Taylen Green, where, Sam Pittman, Bobby Petrino kind of took a flyer on Taylen Green in the transfer portal, a kid that has been a roller coaster of a ride during his first 3 years at Boise State. A lot of highs, a lot of lows. And I think the idea that Sam Pittman and Bobby Petrino had was, let's go bring in Taylen Green. Let's see if we can really grab these highs and eliminate the lows. And we have a damn good football player. We saw that for Arkansas. I mean, you've seen it throughout the first 2 games of the season. Like Taylen Green's ability to do so many different things with Bobby Petrino calling this offense, you see it's a dynamic offense. It has multiple different ways that Arkansas can attack opposing defenses. I mean, Taylen Green's ability to extend plays, throw from a ton of different arm angles, push the ball down the field. There are not a lot of quarterbacks in the country that can do what Taylen Green has done. From a physical trait standpoint, he's one of the more talented quarterbacks I think we see, not only in the SEC, but in the country. And you're starting to see him kind of avoid some of those costly mistakes. Now, he did have some costly mistakes that did play a role in Arkansas losing this football game. But the biggest takeaway, if you're an Arkansas fan, at least in my opinion, is you have a quarterback that is going to give you a lot of opportunities to win at a very high level in the SEC. And he's a guy that can come back in 2025. And so if you're an Arkansas fan that's kind of in the wait and see mode, and I think there's a lot of Arkansas fans that are there, right? There are some that want Sam Pittman gone. I don't think there's a ton that say, hey, I want Sam Pittman in the future. I think a lot of Arkansas fans are like, all right, let's see how 2024 plays out. Let's see how this team rebounds. If this team does rebound and Taylen Green wins a lot of football games for Arkansas, I can certainly see the Arkansas fans saying, all right, let's give Sam Pittman one more year with potentially Taylen Green coming back at quarterback. Because I think, and again, it's the biggest piece of the puzzle in terms of winning at the highest level. Do you have a quarterback that's a true difference maker? I think Taylen Green is that dude. And I think another thing to know, yeah, Arkansas struggled a little bit in pass protection. The offensive line of the run game, it's back. I think. You look at Jaquindon Jackson, 24 carries for a buck 50, 3 touchdowns, runs the football extremely hard. You have some young running backs that I would like to see get a little bit more involved as well. When you have Taylen Green at quarterback, it gives you a lot of different ways that you can scheme up the run game. I thought Bobby Petrino did a phenomenal job doing so. And you're really marrying the run game and the pass game extremely well. Like we want to run the football, but when we see teams that are starting to fire downhill, put their linebackers going downhill, walking safeties into the box, like Taylen Green has shown the ability that he can push the ball down the field. Had an average depth of target of 13.3 yards against Oklahoma State on Saturday. On the offensive side of the football, there are, in my opinion, and I've watched the game 3 times now, a lot of really positive takeaways that this Arkansas offense, one, is massively turned around. Bobby Petrino may be the most impactful coaching hire we've seen across the country. This Arkansas offense, I think, can win a lot of football games in the SEC. And you look at the Arkansas defense and say 385 total yards against Oklahoma State that wants to run some tempo, that has one of the best players in all of college football in Ollie Gordon. You held Ollie Gordon to 49 yards, averaging what? 2.9 yards per carry. Really good performance by the Arkansas defense overall, in my opinion. I think what cost you here was giving Oklahoma State some short fields, obviously having a pick six. Hard to win football games against really good teams when you give up a defensive touchdown. And that's what Arkansas did. Now, the one thing I want to see more from Arkansas I was a little bit disappointed in, I don't think the pass rush was all that great. I think they were really good against the run. I think the defensive backs on aggregate did a pretty good job limiting big throwing windows for Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State's really good at kind of getting guys like Rashad Owens and Brennan Presley open in space. I thought Arkansas did a really good job of that. I think the biggest storyline for the Arkansas defense, where you want to see them take that jump, is we got to get after the passer a little bit more, right? Alan Bowman was a quarterback that struggles when he's under pressure. The numbers throughout his career have shown that. You had, I think, 4 quarterback pressures, 0 sacks. Yes, the Oklahoma State offensive line is experienced. I think it's pretty damn good. You got real dudes rushing the passer, headlined by Landon Jackson. I would like to see either a little bit just better performance of your front four or start scheming it up, because I don't think we impacted the quarterback enough, especially in the second half on the defensive side of the football. Look, I see. I think the whole. I'm sure many Arkansas fans might be frustrated because I'm getting up here and saying I'm kind of in the wait and see mode. Like I want to see what this Arkansas team can do rebounding from a tough loss. There are 2 directions that this Arkansas team can go. It can either kind of really just struggle the rest of the season, and in that case, Sam Pittman is gone, or it can really turn it around and start realizing, hey, we are a really good football team that can beat a lot of good football teams. If you start seeing this Arkansas team kind of grab that mentality and start building some momentum. And I think there's momentum to be had from this football game. I know it sucks to lose, but there is some real moment. You almost had 700 total yards of offense. I'm kind of in wait and see mode. We'll see how this Arkansas team responds from a really frustrating loss. You see Arkansas making some meaningful improvements, specifically on the offensive side of the football. Let's see if they can keep building. Again, this is an Arkansas team that's got a lot of new faces, right? You got a new center, you got 2 starting new tackles, you got a new quarterback, your running back's new as well. I think there's reason to believe that this Arkansas team gets better as the season goes on. And if you see that, I think you might be in the wait and see mode and see what Sam Pittman can do in 2025. But if you don't, trust me, I'm with the Arkansas fans that are just kind of done with Sam Pittman, because I am I'm not even an Arkansas fan. I'm a little bit frustrated to see Arkansas, not only because I picked them to win the football game, but it's frustrating to see Arkansas continue to lose these kind of games. And I totally get that. Would love to hear from you guys in the comment section. Again, appreciate y'all rocking with the fellas. If you guys do enjoy the content, consider subscribing to the channel, and we'll talk to y'all later.